Tokenization, specifically security tokenization, is basically taking that digital asset or digital share certificate and programming it with intelligence. So redemption rights, voting rights. So all those elements that typically are taken care of by a transfer agent is now done by the machinery.
Hey folks, Flo here with Blockchain North. I'm here at the Web3 North, very first conference of a certain size here in Ottawa. I'm here with Vincent Kadar of Polymath. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, very good. So what brings you here?
Well, I'm here to represent Polymath, what we're doing in blockchain, what we're doing in security tokenization. It's pretty exciting times for us because we're all creators in our own way. And I think Polymath has got A, brand reputation, B, it's been very diligent in being focused on what it's trying to achieve. And I want to ensure that people are aware of what we're working on as a project, as a SaaS pivot, and as we're going to market.
I love the name Polymath, by the way. There's a great book called The Polymath that I highly recommend. But this isn't the topic of our interview right now. Yeah. So Polymath's been around for quite a few years, close to a decade, I'm going to guess. However, I'm going to guess too that quite a lot of our audience doesn't know what Polymath actually does. So here's your opportunity in sort of 30 seconds or less.
Okay, so we're focused specifically on security tokenization. So we built and deployed our own layer 1 blockchain called Polymesh. Polymesh has been carved out of Polymath, right? And it's its own layer 1 blockchain. I'm the chairman of the Polymesh Association. I'm also the CEO of the Polymath Research, the for-profit entity. So we're directing two organizations at the same time, both focused and both building focused at security tokenization, ensuring that it's a regulated chain and a regulated platform. We think of regulatory elements first, and then we build that into the layer 1 blockchain. So we're not about circumventing any rule, any law. It's all about ensuring that what we're building is a platform that is entrusted from the investors that are putting their money to work actually on that chain to the issuers that will be issuing security tokens on that chain.
I'm going to challenge you and ask you to tell me what tokenization is in sort of 20 seconds or less.
Tokenization, specifically security tokenization, is basically taking that digital asset or digital share certificate and programming it with intelligence. So redemption rights, voting rights. So all those elements that typically are taken care of by a transfer agent is now done by the machinery. So when you think about what security tokenization can do, it's real-time settlements that it can enact on the chain as security tokens exchange hands. But it's also the programmability of the security token itself and what it unlocks in value, and optimizations as well. So basically we're reinventing how, it's how Uber reinvented the taxi model. We're reinventing the private and public markets as well and how it operates, and we're optimizing it. So we're taking away that settlement time of T+2, T+3. They're trying to get it to T+1, right? We can, by enabling the technology that we have today, we can go to T0, right? Real-time settlements. What does that mean? That means people actually that are currently providing capital and working capital in order to settle, trades on either side, well, that goes away. Okay, well, what are those people going to do? Well, they're going to reinvent themselves, and we're going to help them reinvent themselves.
Yeah, wow, that was a great, that last part was very interesting. I feel like one of the biggest trends or macro trends maybe in the Web3 space right now is the hopeful approval of ETFs. I think that's all Twitter is talking about for sure right now. What does that mean to you and your business and the industry more broadly in your view that a BlackRock or an ARK or a Fidelity get a Bitcoin ETF, let's say, in a month?
That's an approval. That's an approval rating, actually, and that's the best approval rating. Like, we've had a Bitcoin ETF in Canada by 3IQ. They've issued it a long time ago, and Fred Pai, who's the founder and chairman of 3IQ, he fought toe-to-toe in order to deploy that and to keep that. And I think if our counterparty in the US does the same thing, I think, again, we're well on our way for adoption of Bitcoin as being, it already has been identified as a commodity, right? It's in a commodity like gold, that's not going to go away. So an ETF is just a representation of, okay, it's here to stay, right? And we're going to start creating products around that. And it's funny because I feel like actually we're going full circle of when the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, they were depegged from gold as standard. I think we may find ourselves full circle with it being pegged against maybe something else, maybe something what we just talked about here.
Right, not naming the elephant in the room here. So you're a Canadian-based company. You're a Canadian. I think I can hear it. So maybe. So what's the state of blockchain in Canada? I mean, obviously Ethereum was founded here at University of Waterloo. We had some of the first Bitcoin ETFs, first Bitcoin ATMs. Lots of innovation. Of course, everybody knows Dapper Labs and CryptoKitties. But what's the state of blockchain in Canada today? And why are you still here, by the way?
Well, we're still here because we're relevant. We're still here because we want to continue to add value. We see that the state of blockchain in Canada, well, the state of blockchain in general, there's 15,000 blockchain projects worldwide, right? And some of them you can find their crypto, trading on exchanges. Some of them are tied not to really any utility or value. Everybody's trying to look for a problem to solve with their specific blockchain. What we see is that those projects and those companies that have been fasted and focused on trying to solve a problem, those are the ones that are succeeding, right? When it comes to Canadian innovation, well, there was a ton of, how many Ethereum millionaires existed today, right? If you can find that stat on Google or actually even on Ethereum itself, it's 33,000 Ethereum millionaires that were minted, just from that specific project. And we're not.
But there's a new meaning on the term minted, right? Where you say someone is minted.
Yeah,
right?
Created, actually, exactly.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that when you talk to large fund administrators, large wealth managers, they don't know how to speak to this new community, right? But they want access, to their portfolio so that they can invest. And equally so, right, those Ethereum millionaires also want to be able to diversify into traditional funds as well, right? So a Bitcoin ETF, what would that do? That would create an inclusive environment for the people that are holding on to Bitcoin as well and maybe want to diversify into something else versus just holding on to themselves. So I think what we're going to see is I wouldn't say it's going to be a big blow up as far as a change, but I think we'll get there gradually, but we'll get there as Canadians do, right? Where it's slow progress, right? But we'll get to where we need to go to unlock that intrinsic value. And we're doing that. We're seeing actually projects. We're seeing, companies like Polymath. We launched a SaaS platform. We're licensing it out. We have customers. We have investors that are on the platform as well from our customers, right? We're a B2B company, and it's working, right? And I think it's all about, it's about creating the narrative, solving a real world problem, not solving a problem that you just made up.
Final question. We ask all of our interviewees for their surest predictions for 2024, which is, of course, around the corner and beyond 2024.
Surest predictions. I think, from a Polymath perspective, I think watch us. We're going to continue to add value. We're going to be licensing some interesting customers actually onto our platform. I think Ethereum will continue to be a valuable blockchain, that has a real purpose. But I think what we'll start to see is some of these off chains, and I'd say are alternative chains like Polymesh, which are solving specific problems that are, competitive to Ethereum. But I'll say, keep your eye out on those side chains, or those chains that can position themselves as side chains that are locking themselves to Bitcoin as an example to hold on to that intrinsic value.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Pleasure to speak with you.
Nice speaking.